Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at the very likely current rank 1 indie world team. But we don't actually know it for sure. It is so far from what I've seen on Twitter the first person to hit 2,800 MMR, which is Shadow Lord, who I showcased several times already on this channel, so thanks so much as well for posting your teams online. We don't know if it's the actual current rank 1 in the world team, because the leaderboards are not updated yet. That usually starts happening around now, kind of like usually around this time when the entity decides to update the leaderboards, which would be really cool because, yeah, I like to see who's kind of up there. I like to see which teams are really performing well, and apparently this is one of them. Of course, we don't have the ideal IVs on lead here, especially on the Moltres, the Galarian Moltres, which is a difficult Pokemon to obtain for some people. But fear not, citizens, we won't have also the option to go for Air/Mandibuzz, which in my opinion is actually the better Pokemon for this team. That is my opinion. Yes, there are going to be occasions where the Moltres is going to be a bit better, don't get me wrong, but consistency-wise, I think actually Air/Mandibuzz is just the better Pokemon. This is basically from my own experience on when I played it. Yes, there is the matchup, for example, against Mantine, where our lead here is going to be a bit better. But is it worth it? I'm not too sure about it. We're just gonna maybe take a look at this throughout the video as well and see where is Mandibuzz better, where is the lead here of the Galarian Moltres better. But no matter what, we're going to have an interesting moveset on the Quagsire, where they are running Mud Bomb as well as the Stone Urge. Luckily, I have 20 million Quagsires built with all different movesets and Shadow, non-Shadow, so I didn't need to do anything towards it. And the best thing is, it has a head-on, which is even more important for the Go Battle League, of course. But yeah, in this battle here, the second battle, we're going to encounter more Pekko. We are letting the move go through. Even if there's Seed Bomb, it's not going to be enough to knock us out. And so we're going to be in a great spot, as I think this should have knocked them out, and I was wrong with that as far as I remember. I think they saw it with 1 HP here, so well done there. But we're going to have here the Annihilate, which is just going to go down anyway to the Mud Step of Gastrodon. This would be most likely the one matchup where the Mandibuzz is going to struggle a bit more, but to be fair, it is still a very, very solid matchup for the Mandibuzz. Like, you might not always going to be able to win that one, but you're always going to get them very low. And as soon as you're going to get them kind of to range for Stone Edge, which is basically immediately as soon as you go for like a foul play or something, you're going to be fine as well. But yeah, the Mantine matchup is just better for the Moltres. I think that is the main reason why they would run the Moltres over the Mandibuzz. But again, if you don't have the Moltres, Mandibuzz is your other Pokemon that you maybe want to run. The main thing why I think Mandibuzz is better, there are a lot of occasions, for example here, against something like a Gastrodon, where Mandibuzz is just going to have the superior bulk, which helps out quite a bit in a lot of matchups, which is kind of cool. And also, Air Slash as a fast move helps you out with the problem of Annihilate. Annihilate, well, yes, your backline isn't weak to Annihilate, it's also not particularly strong against Annihilate either, and Annihilate, as soon as it has a little bit of a head start, it just runs through teams. And this is something that we're gonna see here, maybe throughout the video as well a little bit, where I feel like that if we would have had Mandibuzz, we didn't need to invest that many shields into, for example, the Moltres, things like this. Like, this is something that I definitely can say. I do think that Mandibuzz, most likely it's around 50-50. Like, you have like the matchup, for example, with Mantine, where you're going to be better with the Moltres, but I think it's like a 50-50 chance if it's better for you to run the Mandibuzz or the Moltres. Here, we're going to be able to go for the Ancient Power, get the KO. One more thing, by the way, I did not get a single Ancient Power boost. And that was kind of ridiculous because I did go for Ancient Power at least 10 times, I would say. In all the battles that I did here, you don't even see all of them. I did quite a few battles with this team. And it was actually a really solid team, by the way, to use. I would recommend you to run it. I do think, again, that Mandibuzz most likely gives you more consistent results. But in all of the battles that I did here, I didn't get a single boost with the Ancient Power. And again, it's like a 1 in 8 chance to get it. I did go for, I would assume, around like 15, 16 or whatever. And you might think, oh, super unlucky. I do think you only have like around a 70% chance to actually get a boost there in that many tries. That's the thing as well, which a lot of people like are getting confused. Like, odds are, like, if you hit, for example, 8 and it's a 1 in 8 chance, it doesn't mean that you're gonna get it there. The thing is, odds are kind of a funny thing because sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not. That's like the whole idea behind it. That means if you go, for example, like you have a 1 in 8 chance and you go for 8 of like 8 times the move, it's not like that you have a 100% chance, you have like a 60 or like a 50% chance that you actually get a boost in those 8 attempts. Like, it's not even that crazy. which also you see, of course, for shiny chances. I think there's like even a little bit more crazier, where people are like, oh, I encountered so many Pokemon, but it's actually not even that likely that you're gonna get one after the odds, like after hitting odds basically. It's quite common that you are going a little bit over that, but also in the same breath, it's quite common that you go a bit lower than that, and that's like the beauty of it. So, well, maybe it's only a 50% chance to have the boost. I don't know, I didn't look it up right now, but I know that there's like not even close to the 100% chance after like 8, if it's a 1 in 8 chance. You still have the chance, of course, in all the ones before to even get the boost, which is like the main benefit of that. So, yeah, if you're lucky, you're lucky. Anyway, we're going to have here Brown, and we're going to have also the Annihilate come back in here. Mud Bomb definitely helped out. I liked Mud Bomb a lot on the Quagsire. I didn't reconsider it at all before, but I do think it was actually a fun move to run. Doesn't mean that Awkward Tail would have done a worse job, by the way. I don't think it is needed to have this move. It helps out in like matchups, for example, Guslord. Like, yeah, you would most likely still want to hit like a Stone Edge, but then you can go for a Mud Bomb and you don't have to go for 2 Stone Edges, which I think is like one of the main ideas behind it as well. But generally speaking, I do think this team is something that you should be trying to copy as well. I think it's a cool team to run. And we're going to see here some more gameplay with it. And again, so far, this team performed quite well as well here, and like for me, it performed quite well. I definitely climbed with this team. We're going to see here the right twist coming through from the opponent's Annihilate. In comes Beyond. I tried my best here to generate a little bit of extra energy, which we'll see as well is coming in clutch because we can get the KO here with a Brave Bird, but they're going to have a Lapras in the back where they have double resisted fast move damage, which allows me to go for another Brave Bird, which just puts them into Mud Bomb or like Mud Slap down range here basically from the Gastrodon, which is lovely no matter what they're going to go for. Scalbish is their best play. It's not going to matter. Like Scalbish maybe allows them to survive an extra fast move, but again here we're going to be able to win this battle. Moltres, I actually got a shiny Moltres as well, but I traded to my girlfriend because she just likes them a little bit more. Anyway, I decide usually if I encounter something like a Toxapex lead to stay in and try to catch a Brine. It does make sense. It helps out, for example, in situations like this, but this is one of the big situations where I do think that you need Mandibuzz. I do think like you really need Mandibuzz because Chestnut, try to get rid of this thing. Like Chestnut just goes through your team because it resists the fast moves here, it resists the ancient power. Yes, I can beat them, but where does it really help? It doesn't. Like as you will see here, the opponent is very likely just going to go for a superpower and dip, and then what are we going to do next? What is coming in next? It's going to be the Guslord. That is not ideal. I can try to go for the hard-hitting Brave Bird, but I'm not going to go for that. And I'm going to go for the Brave Bird now, which is going to be okay. The opponent still got too much damage onto me. I'm very, very low, and now it's down to Gastrodon to win the battle. But what do I do against the other Pokemon? What do I do against the Chestnut? But there was no winning here. There is no winning here as far as I can see it, because I just don't get rid of the Chestnut. And this is one of the big issues for the lead of, the Moltres there. And I think that's a thing that shows again like that teams are a little bit different sometimes on the top leaderboards, and sometimes it's some adjustment to you for like you running the team. And you see it here again, for example, as well. On top leaderboards, they most likely never encountered a Chestnut, and that's why they never thought about it. But here, I encountered quite a few Chestnuts in this meta so far, so I would rather recommend you to go for the Mandibuzz instead of the Moltres. Here again, I'm gonna stay in for a little bit because my backline is so strong against this Pokemon. I'd rather have the energy on my Moltres. And yeah, as you'll see here, they're actually gonna keep the moves, the energy on them, which is fine. We are gonna have the Sableye coming in. And the cool thing here is I'm either gonna get the shield advantage or the KO. And I will take either of them, to be fair. I'm just gonna let the move go through. I would love alignment, to be fair. Alignment, I think, would be better for me because what does Toxapex do against a Gastrodon? That's mainly what I'm thinking here right now. But they don't really want to give me that, which is still fine because I'm fairly certain they're going to be weak to me in the back anyway, because this is apparently the best answer to me. And so let's see, it is going to be the Annihilate. And this is why I don't really like how this team sometimes functions as well, and where I do think again my Mandibuzz is going to be better. It's just like the slight weakness to Annihilate. That's my big issue. If I here went, by the way, for the Earth Power, I would have definitely won the battle, but the opponent called the bait here correctly, basically, from me. But yeah, you have just a tiny bit of a weakness here against the Annihilate, because we have Body Slam, which is double resisted as our cheapest move onto our Gastrodon. We don't really have the firepower to really knock that Pokemon out or knock it low, which is really annoying, to be fair. Like, this kind of really is an issue for it. But again, if you would have an Air/Mandibuzz, you're going to have a bit of a better matchup there. You're most likely going to be more getting that Pokemon out if you sub out as well. So I feel like this would be kind of cool. Nonetheless, Moltres also has some nice things going on for it, like the Brave Bird, which is going to allow us to get the KO here. So next up, Annihilate in the lead, it's gonna be a Shadow version. This is an ABB style line, and again, I do think that Annihilate can be a bit problematic, because you kinda want to swap out over the lead if it's neutral, but you can't really here. We're gonna get the Drapion out, which is really sad that I caught the wrong move. I went for the Brave Bird, that would have been delicious. But right now, I can at least still take a Crunch, and they always debuff on a Gastrodon. I have no idea why. It is both ways, by the way. Even if I use Drapion and against the Gastrodon, I basically always get the Crunch debuff immediately, which allows then another Crunch knockout. Here, luckily, the opponent decided to not go for that. But yeah, I don't know why that is a thing, but I feel like, of course, it is not an actual scientific thing. I'm just joking with that kind of stuff here. Well, I feel like it's always going to get the debuff when it's Crunch against the Gastrodon. I have no idea why. Anyway, I make a big mistake here. What big mistake did I did? Did I do? That's what you would rather say there. I decided to swap out into my Quagsire a bit too late. If I just swapped out straight away, I went I think for 2 or 3 fast moves on my lead there, I would have been fine here, but I needed to outspeed them. I don't, and Trailblaze was completely not in my mind there. I didn't expect that they have Trailblaze, like, I did expect it as soon as I saw it then, but I didn't really think about it in the beginning. Of course, going to knock us out, and with us, we're gonna lose this battle here. Good game, we can move on. This was definitely winnable if I just played it better. Here we have the legendary matchup of Moltres against Mandibuzz. Let's hew the dark and flying type Pokemon going up against each other. One has a rock type coverage move, the other one is just bulky, and we are not going to run the rock type coverage move. Why? Because Brave Bird is just chunking away a bit harder, and we kinda want to always swap out of here. Thing is, we're gonna get a Pokemon out here that I didn't expect, but because we have Mud Bomb, it is not too bad. It's going to be here the Poliwrath. If we would have had Awkward here, look at our charge moveset, we would have got completely hardwalled here. But like this, I might even be able to still get to another Mud Bomb if we are lucky here, and I'm fairly certain we're going to be able to get there, which allows me to get the shield from the opponent, but I also can go into my Gastrodon then and hopefully farm them down. I thought of actually swapping out here to snipe them, but I'm fairly certain I need more than just one move here, and so that's why I didn't go for it. As you see here, Power Punch is coming through. Yes, we need more than one, so there was no snipe really possible for me, but let's see, they're going to go into their own Gastrodon, which is interesting, because they catch the move here. Well done, well played. Does it help them? I don't think so. I hope it doesn't. It's gonna be definitely a bit close though. We have the Body Slam coming through. It's not going to be enough here. What we can do, we can let the move go through, and I think we can just farm them down with a 1 Sucker Punch, which we do here. And now we have 2 Shade Moltres against the Gastrodon. The thing is, also my pack stamina is up there as well. Are you playing TCG? I'm playing the TCG Pocket version there as well. I do love collecting cards, but currently the market is madness. Like, I'm trying to get the Prismatic Evolution tins. It doesn't really even matter if it's in German and English. Of course, I'm living in Germany where we don't have a Pokemon Center or even a lot of shops that would offer that. But yeah, no matter what it is, I don't really get this kind of stuff here, sadly. I'm really looking for the tins for it, but yeah, sadly not really possible. Otherwise, TCG Pocket is going to get some shiny cards soon, so that's going to be exciting. So, final battle here for today. We're going to have Mantine. Mantine is going to, yeah, be a better matchup for us again. We have Ancient Power here. It does make sense to go for Ancient Power, by the way, because you don't really want to debuff yourself. There's no real need for you to debuff yourself on this matchup because they're not that bulky. Like, they're not as bulky as a Mandibuzz is. Doesn't mean that they're not bulky at all, but they are definitely more manageable. Anyway, as you'll see here, we're going to be able to catch the move onto our Quaggy, which is fine because they should be even in farm down range. And now we are in a very big disadvantage, so we have a shield disadvantage and we have the switch disadvantage. And so let's see if we can still come back from this. It's going to be definitely a bit of a tricky one. As we will see here, we're going to have another charge move coming through. This is going to allow us to get the damage onto them. And as you will see, we're going to try our best here to let the move go through. It is going to be, of course, the Body Slam coming in. We're going to try our best, and it's going to be Annihilate. I don't like Annihilate. With this team, it is not a great matchup at all. And yeah, we are going to try our best here right now to go for the full farm down. Turns out they can learn close combat here, of course, as well, which is quite rare in this meta, but helps us out maybe a little bit. I'm not too sure. But the opponent actually makes a funny mistake here, which we will see right now. They went for the charge move. If they went for one fast move, the game would be over already. So can we knock out the Mantine? They still have another Pokemon. Mantine comes in, we can't. We knock them out, but they still have one more Pokemon, so we lost the final battle here. Still, very cool team. Current rank 1 on the world team most likely. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.